Our destination?
Childhood memories.
Let's go for a ride.
Welcome to Girls Trip. It's Monday. We're already falling apart here. So if you're in the same boat, we hope you feel welcome.
You're right at home with us.
Comfortable.
Comfortable.
But we are taking it back.
Just to give you an understanding, Lauren said that we were on the struggle bus before we hit play. So whatever the struggle bus means to you, that's what we're on.
We are on it.
Today, on today's episode of Girls Trip, we're riding on a struggle bus wherever we go. Our destination,
wherever it takes us,
is on a struggle bus.
It's a little dose of truth for you. Oh, no, Rebecca.
Rebecca, you can't fall apart. You cannot fall apart. You have to keep it together. You have.
This is your fault. I mean, also, I'm saying we're on the struggle bus. Rebecca was giving a full rendition. A full rendition of a VeggieTales song.
As if she watched it 2 hours ago. And not probably 20 years ago. Oh, boy.
I can do it again right now if you want to.
It sounds so much like the original. We'd probably get kicked off.
Sound just like
Mr. Lunt.
Oh my god, guys, it's not good today.
We get kicked off. Okay.
There is no rhyme or reason to anything we're saying.
Nothing. We're gone.
I'm
guys.
here.
We're gone.
So we're talking about we're talking about childhood memories. We're acting like children. So it's perfect. This is what, if I imagined myself to be doing a YouTube podcast, this is how it would have played out.
Yeah.
In my
100%.
In my goofing off and fooling around.
Oh,
yeah.
Perfect.
It's perfect.
Nothing's your vision, Joy.
Nothing substantial is being said, and that's basically it.
We're nailing it. We are nailing it.
Oh boy.
Specifically, we're sharing summer childhood memories.
I have so much nostalgia
for
surrounding summer. So much. I'm gonna look at her. She can't take it.
We are acting like children.
We're acting
today.
like children.
What is going on?
It's your fault. You planned this day.
No, I do not take any responsibility for
First
the
of all,
two
why
of
are we
you.
all crying?
Allergies.
You have allergies. You're having a full-on spasmodic attack, and it's been a rough week.
I'm good.
It's
Let's
only
go.
Monday, but it's been a rough week.
Monday.
So I have a ton of nostalgia
All right,
surrounding this summer.
let's give our first
Stop interrupting me. I've been trying to talk about my nostalgic moments.
I just want you to give one to start.
I have too many.
Like when you think of like childhood summer, what's the first memory that pops into your head?
Crabbing with my grandpa at the bay. Yeah. And my honorary grandmother, who really was not my grandmother, but she lived like
You picked up a random old lady.
my dad like lived at her house growing up essentially,
Okay.
but she lived her full-time house was a couple doors down from our place that we stayed when we were down the shore. So every summer her name was Fritzy, we called her. So Frances, but her name was Frances, but we called her Fritzy. I didn't even know her name was Frances until like 20 years after she died.
And you were like, I've been living a lie.
Who the heck is Frances? But crabbing with my grandpa and Fritzy was definitely the highlight of our lives.
I feel like anyone who can say crabbing in their childhood, like that's such like a bougie.
It's a little bougie. Yeah, you're like, what were they doing?
Wait,
You
I
went
feel like
clamming
it's very
and crabbing.
bougie. It's gross.
No,
You
it's
have
like,
to be in a certain area.
Thinking of clamming?
No,
crabbing.
It's just like it's one of those things where like people who are like wealthy and bougie say and they make like I'm so grounded because I just went crabbing.
Yeah.
But it's like really
you've
like
been
a
on a
very-
boat.
Never heard that.
You
before.
have to
Very
have a boat.
privileged
Most,
thing.
not always, but
No, we like
you don't always. You go off the deck.
We were a couple houses
Or
down
whatever it's
from
called.
the bay, from like.
Yeah.
the-
I think
so
because
that's
it's
where we
very
went.
connected with like a summer house down the shore.
Yes,
like you
there
have
could
to
be- there
have
you
a
go.
summer
Okay.
house down
Yeah.
the shore in
To
order
go
to,
crabbing.
in order
Yeah.
to go crabbing.
Yeah, no, I get that though.
Like that's what you're doing.
But I also I didn't like crabs. Like I didn't like crab, but my grandpa would make it with like the red sauce and the spaghetti, and I loved that together. So that was fun. So
Okay.
that's a big one. I guess that's I'm only
I'm
allowed one.
I'm the
so-
type of bougie that doesn't want to get my hands dirty, but I do want to eat it.
Yeah.
I want someone else to do, the
that,
crabbing
and then you
for
put
me.
it in front of me.
My like initial like first thought was every day on the last day of school both of my parents would pick up my brother and I, and we would drive right from school down the shore to Point Pleasant to Jenkinson's and get the like cheesesteak and Zeppelis and go on some
We may
rides,
have to adopt
play
that
some
tradition.
games.
I love that.
It was so fun. We looked forward to it so much.
If we all decide to homeschool our kids, we can all end school on the same
caravan.
day and then go together.
you go.
No, that would
Bada
be
bing,
so
bada boom.
fun. That sounds like what a great parents.
Yeah.
I love that
So
idea.
I really loved doing that.
I'm going to say 2.
Well, we could say more. I just wanted like
Okay,
the first
first
thing
one.
that
Yeah,
popped
first
into
one
my
is
head.
camping at Elk Neck State Park.
Shocker.
could have bet my life on that.
But here's the funny part about it is as I got into my past teenage, so maybe like 16, 17, we weren't going every year, but I did it so consistently when as a young kid that it's just like that's what I did in the summer. Like for a week, we just went camping.
Yeah.
So yeah, that's like the first thing for summer. You think camping?
Isn't that funny? Like there are things where like maybe you only did it for, you know, when you were really young or I mean mine is one day out of the year, but like
That's what it means
what
to
is
you.
it about
Yeah.
things that stick in your kid's mind? I feel like that's like a weird part of being a parent is you're not sure what about their childhood they're going to remember
Yeah.
or what's going to make the biggest impression on them.
Yeah.
So you're always like trying to outdo yourself almost to make sure like remember something
this
good from your childhood.
That's funny you say that because like my memory was a couple days out of the summer a year.
Yeah.
So like maybe 2 or 3 days we had that in July.
Yeah, it's not like
and that
this
was that.
big
But
thing.
that's still
it's
what
just
it
like,
means to
that's
me.
summer. You're
yeah,
like, ooh,
that's
yeah.
funny. Because it was like we had that all the time and
Yeah.
we didn't. Mhm.
It's something so like you can't predict that it'll become memorable. Like this is not specific to summer, but I don't even remember what age we were, but my parents were told us we were going to go like buy pots and pans. Like that's where we were going.
Okay.
And at the time there was a like Costco that was right next to a movie theater.
Oh, okay.
And so,
That's fun.
they kept up the charade. Like we're pulling in and we're like, no, we're not. What
Yeah.
are we really doing? They're like, we're going to buy pots and pans. That's what we need. And that became like a thing that every time they'd be like, you want to go get some pots and pans?
Yeah.
And we'd be like, yes. And, you know, but like, you know, my parents didn't do that with like, oh, we're going to create a really great family
Yeah.
memory right
Yeah.
now. Like it just happened.
They're the things
Yeah.
that just happen.
Yeah.
Yeah. And I'm not the most spontaneous person in the world, but that's for sure true. Is with like all the most fun things that I can remember have been spur of the moment, unplanned things.
We were in our camper because we did a full, I want to say almost the whole summer, or at least a month. We went out west to like Mount Rushmore, Yellowstone, all of that. And I remember one day, so it's a pop-up camper, so it's not like the RV, so you have to open it up, but we had a table where we'd had dinner and whatever, and we were just hanging out. I don't remember necessarily where we were, and my dad walked in and he had like this, like not angry, but like someone did something, and I was like, what the heck? I think I was 10 at the time, and he's like, everyone sit down there, I'm gonna get the spoons. And I was like, what is going on? And I had never played this game before, but he taught us how to play spoons.
Oh my
It
gosh.
was for some reason I just like remember that moment. I'm like, what is going on? Because I was like, what did I do? I'm like, and then at the same time, I'm like, it was not me. Like it's someone else. But then he was like,
Johnny
everyone
was
sit
like-
down.
Johnny was
He's
like, it was
me. Then he's like, we're gonna play a game, and then he taught us how to play spoons, and I just was like, oh my, it was just so fun and like out of the blue that I was like, oh my gosh, I
That's
always
so
remember
great.
that moment. Yeah, where
So
they like
great.
trick you, but they're
Yeah,
not really
yeah,
tricking you, and
yeah.
you're just like, okay, I see what you did there. Yeah, those are always really really fun.
All right, Joy, since you were
Let's keep
so
going.
impatient,
I
get
have
those memories
so-
out.
I just have so many. My parents weren't big on like, let's go to the theme park.
Yeah.
They were not that kind of people. So every morning that we had in the summer, my mom would rip me away from the TV and we would go ride bikes together in the morning. And if you are familiar with like the down the shore area, in a lot of different towns, you have like just like a massive grid essentially. So she like mapped out the entire, and she's such a routine person. So we had to like go the exact route every single day. And it's funny because I remember that at the time, I remember like loving the idea of like bike riding, and then like 4 minutes in being like, I'm done.
Yeah.
And we were like, realistically, we were like an eighth of the way done,
Yeah.
and it was like a push to the finish. But every time we would finish, it would be very much like, oh, we just did that again together. Get ready to do it tomorrow morning.
Yeah.
So definitely love the bike rides. Because when else are you bike riding?
Yeah.
Especially where we lived at the time. It's like,
Yeah. Up
like
and down.
this,
Yeah.
you know?
That is the thing about kids I am learning in real time is they're about done with almost everything in 4 minutes.
Yeah.
And
Okay.
you're like, oh no, this is lasting the whole day.
Yeah.
Like
We're
this
doing
is
this all
the
day.
fun thing we planned for the whole day.
Yeah. It definitely tired me out for sure.
Yeah.
I
You're like,
went home
nap
and
time.
I went home and it was out cold for like 3
Yeah.
hours after that, probably.
Yeah.
Yeah. Like every
Definitely.
time like my daughter will be like begged to go to Chuck E. Cheese and then we'll go. And about 8 minutes in, she's like, okay.
We did
And
that.
I was like, no, we have
We have
22
more
minutes
things
left
to go.
on this card, so let's
Let's
go,
go.
girl. Keep it going. But then, like, you
It's so
know,
funny.
a couple weeks will pass, and it gets in her head again that like it's the best place you could imagine. She wants to go, and I'm like,
So funny.
do you not remember?
Yeah.
how quickly you were over that.
You weren't really a fan of that. Remember that?
Okay.
Okay.
All right. Yeah. So okay. So a lot of yours are. So how much time did you spend down the shore? Was it just like a week, or did you spend more?
We would probably spend all together from like June to early September. Probably 4 to 6 weeks altogether.
But not at once.
Not at once.
Okay.
It would have to be like, it would probably be
Still,
like
that's
1
a
to 2
long
weeks.
time,
Oh,
yeah.
yeah.
So that's
It
a
felt-
big
It
yeah.
felt like 3 months. We were there
Yeah.
for all 3 months because it was over the course of the summer, but it wasn't all back to back like that.
Plus, when you are going, so essentially you're going half of every month almost.
Yeah.
And I feel like by the time you're getting back, unpacking, repacking to go, it kind of
Go
just
again.
feels like you're doing that
You're
all
doing it
summer.
all, yeah.
Well, our dads, we grew up as pastors' kids, so that wasn't even a thing though. Like pastors aren't going away
No.
for that long at a time, back to back to back. So the summer was the time where it was like, all right, we're gonna do this. But then many times my dad would drive back up for Sunday service and
Yeah.
leave my mom and me there. And Joseph and Faith, I forgot they were there.
Oh yeah, my siblings.
He would drive up a lot, and the days that he couldn't drive up for whatever reason, we would all go to church together down there. So that was a big deal for us too. Yeah, we never missed church growing up. Yeah, that's another
That
memory.
was the best part of vacation.
You're like, yeah, we're just hanging out.
For some reason, he just like met everybody down there. So
Yeah,
we
of
had like a
course.
home church there.
Yeah.
Right.
Like that was our summer church. So very
That's so funny.
And it's different, yeah, if you're going
Yeah.
down that often versus, you know.
Yeah,
Yeah.
we're missing
One Sunday,
That's
yeah.
so-
totally different.
Yeah.
I would say another one is the beach. During the week, my dad would sometimes come with us, and that was like, ooh, dad's coming. Like he took off of work. But I definitely remember large portions of my summer just going down the beach with my family specifically, but mostly like 3 other homeschool families that we knew really well. We actually all lived within like 5 minutes of each other. So it was very easy to be like, hey, we're going down there, meet us down there if you want. But that always Sandy Hook Beach all the time.
Nice.
Yeah. Or even actually my aunt and cousin used to come a lot with us too. So when
Were
we were
you
younger.
guys like full like 12-hour day type
Oh,
people
yeah.
at the beach?
At like sunset. My mom loved staying there all day long. We would try to get there, I think, by like 10, I would say, and stay there till like 6:30. Because it was not that it was really far, but it's like probably an hour and 15 minutes to get down there. It wasn't crazy, but then we drive back and stop to get ice cream, or there was like a Rita's. My mom loved Rita's at the time, so we'd always stop at
Those
Rita's.
are great, like halfway markers. Like you're like, okay, it's
We
time
really
to
we
go.
get
Yeah.
there, and then we're like, okay, we have like 2 minutes, and then we're on the parkway, and we're staying on the parkway.
Yeah.
We're not detouring. So yeah, that was a big thing in the summer.
thing. I
Yeah.
feel like my husband has worked from home since my daughter was like 6 months old, and he never went back to the office really. So my daughter's starting to understand a little bit more, but I don't know that my kids really have any concept of the fact that we work.
You're just always home.
Especially Grayson, he's like, so the concept of like dad's taking off a day, he's
Yeah.
still just like, yeah, but he's just upstairs. Like,
Yeah.
what is
Like, wait.
what is he doing? And like, so we've been trying to say like, you know, well, daddy can't come because he's working, and he's working because, you know, that's how he takes care of us, and that's how we buy food, and, you know, or have our house. And he's just like, yeah, but why do we have to pay for stuff? That's like his new
Good question.
That's like his new thing. Why do we have to pay for stuff?
Grayson, you
And
know.
I'm like, yeah, I know it's gonna be a rough blow, kid.
yeah,
it's gonna be
when you
rough.
find out. job is going to provide.
Also, you don't pay for anything.
Yeah.
So don't worry about it.
One small thing that feels very like nostalgic is my dad, anytime we were in the pool at our house, would like disappear for a few minutes and come back out with a blender pitcher full of pina colada, non-alcoholic, obviously, and serve, my mom and I on our pool floats and give us a cup. And now Avery, who's 5, is like, continuing the tradition. She's like, Grandpa makes the best pina coladas. I can't wait for summer.
Oh my gosh, that's adorable.
So that's just, again, like a really small thing, but that feels like such a big part of my childhood. And it's just fun to be reliving that through her eyes. But definitely, I think I talked about it earlier this week of my initial resistance to staycations, though I've come around to it, was because family vacation was such a
big thing
in our family. It's something my parents really like prioritized being able to do. And we went for a lot of years with close like family friends of ours. So it was 2 families and we kind of had kids around the same ages. So that always made it more fun too, that you had a friend to do something with. But for years it was driving down to Myrtle Beach.
That's definitely another one of mine.
Which when you're a kid was fun. Like I never remember like being unhappy about it. I think it was like part of the fun was picking out the activities you were going to do and the snacks for the car ride. And getting to drive down there and
we also slept for most of it, probably.
Sleeping for sure. And boogie boarding on the beach and stuff like that. So that was big. And then when we got a little bit older, into like our teenage years, it transitioned to vacations to Florida where we would go. So we were very much the theme park family, like yours. So it was definitely going to all of the roller coasters and Universal and getting the thrill rides.
I'm living that now.
Yeah.
There you go. Yeah.
Yeah. Which now it's so funny because, as teenagers that we were doing this, my parents were in their like mid 40s and later. And now going back to Universal, I'm only in my mid 30s. And some of these rides, I'm like,
oh my God.
I'm like, how did my parents do this? Like, they didn't like bat an eye. They were like, yeah, let's go to the next one.
But also that's your memory of
That's
that.
my
That's
memory.
true. They did not tell you.
They were probably like limping behind us or something. But they did not give away if it was causing them any nausea or sickness or anything. So yeah, that was, again, like it was 1 or 2 weeks out of the whole year.
Yeah.
But yeah, looked forward to it so much and made so many memories on those trips.
I definitely love the theme park. We didn't do it often, but when we would go to Six Flags, it was probably on like homeschool day because it was like a discount. And
Wait,
it was.
Do they seriously have a homeschool day?
Oh yeah, yeah. It's a discounted price, and
They're like, these kids need to live a little.
And the park is only open to us. Like no one else can go into the park.
Wow.
There's still a
How
decent
did
amount
you
of people.
prove that you were homeschooled?
I have
You're like, just
literally-
look at me.
Yeah. I thought about that, and I really have no clue how. I don't know if my mom had to show some ID.
Definitely.
Like, no clue. But it didn't
That's
happen that
hilarious.
often. But I remember going, and I think I was actually like first year of college, but my mom was still going with my younger brothers. So I just tagged along. And I think my dad came as well. And we ended up going on King to Cod together. And I was like, kind of like, I want to do it, but I was like, I just don't know. So I remember going with him. And I was just the whole time, I was like, please go over the hump, please go over the hump. Because they would go up and then people would run back down.
Oh, yeah.
So I was like, if I just go over, everything is smooth sailing from there. But my dad could go on the rides. My mom can't go on the rides anymore. But I just loved roller coasters.
Yeah.
Even like as a kid, kind of going to Six Flags. I remember that a little bit. And that was so much fun. But it was my dad. My mom was like, you guys have fun.
Yeah,
Can't
my
do
poor
that anymore.
dad, he definitely suffered in most of my childhood memories because either like in the ocean boogie boarding where like my feet were not touching that ocean ground. So I was hanging around his neck for my dear life because I was like, oh, there's squishy things down there.
That is so funny.
So poor guy never got a second of rest. And then, yeah, all the rides. I was like, I'll sit next to Dad.
Squeeze his hand.
Squeeze his arm. As if that was going to help on a roller coaster,
Yeah.
or anything like that.
Yeah.
But yeah, looking back now and being a parent now, I'm like, oh, they didn't really rest a whole lot on any of these
Your parents like to have fun,
things.
though.
They do, but
Yeah.
it's exhausting for
Exhausting.
sure.
Yeah.
I feel like the last thing that really came to mind in thinking about the nostalgia of childhood, which I'm like just starting to get into now, is that like back to school shopping at the outlets.
Oh, okay.
No, when those back to school commercials would come on, you would be like, no, change the channel. Like, it's not real.
Well, we used to do it like on vacation. We'd do it like at the
Yeah,
outlets
no, we
on
didn't do that.
vacation. So it didn't feel like too close to school actually
Okay.
coming yet. It still felt like,
I feel like we did back to school shopping like September 1st.
Yeah.
We were like, we're going to milk this vacation for as long as we're going to do it. Yeah. My mom to this day, she gets mad when she sees back to school commercials.
so funny.
She's like,
She's
summer
like-
hasn't even started yet.
Yeah.
She gets
taking
so
away all the
mad.
fun.
She
Yeah.
is like that. She gets mad. She always wanted us to like really enjoy
Yeah.
our summers. Yeah.
well, I am already devastated because we just received the calendar for the next school year, and Avery starts on like August 27th,
Wait, why?
which I
Absolutely not.
No, she's
never
not going to
heard
school.
of in
Which,
September.
okay, from everyone else watching
I
us,
know,
you're
I know.
like, excuse me?
Yeah.
I know, but New Jersey is
No.
is an after Labor Day, like September, like 5th, 6th start.
Not down the
always.
shore, but up north.
Up north.
Down the
Yeah.
shore, they're starting in,
They do
in
a little bit
August.
earlier.
Which is
Okay.
so weird.
Yeah.
Because it
Yeah.
feels like that's the way the whole world should be, and then you find out it's like, you
Yeah,
know,
it's just
that-
like our little,
But it
the
like
Northeast.
that's like really throwing me because now I feel like I have to be like already getting in that mindset like at the
What's
end of
happening
July
next year? Yes, exactly.
instead
exactly.
of August. So yeah, very upset
Oh my
about
God.
that.
But it's true that is a part of it. Like, which, okay, I won't get too deep, but like all these good things, like it does come to an end, but that's what makes them
Right.
so
So
good.
good.
Yeah.
Because if it never came to an end, if it was one long vacation, that's
Yeah.
not,
Right.
as memorable. It's
all
not as
right,
important.
fine,
I'm
Joy.
sorry.
Yeah.
Fine.
Okay.
I also hate back to school. I
Yeah.
hate it.
But no, the back to school shopping at the outlets when you could go into that. It was like Aero Pastel outlet where everything was like $2.99. It
Yeah.
was the best. You're like, I
Yeah.
can buy 50 t-shirts. This is amazing. Yeah, those were some. I don't know how we fit it all in our suitcases coming back, but
That's
we
right.
managed.
you did it.
You did
managed.
it.
Yeah, the
We
outlets.
managed
That's a big one.
somehow.
We had, this is a very small thing, but I remember we had a pool, so we'd come out of the pool. I'd had friends over all the time. And for some reason, I remember playing Skippo all the time
Oh, yeah.
with my friend, or my mom would join in. And I can like smell that summer. Like I'll walk into my house and I can still be like, ooh, like I remember how it smelled. I remember playing this. The sun was like beating down, coming through the glass or the windows. And like that is just like a beautiful, with our snacks or popcorn or whatever, and just sitting on our wet towels on the carpet.
Yeah.
I was like, don't go anywhere else. Stay on the towel. And playing like a card game or something.
But that's
after.
like a happy place up
Yeah.
here, right?
Yeah.
So
Not
sweet.
yeah, always playing like some sort of game or something like that. Or we'd like put a movie on and just lay and
Yeah.
be like, eating.
I think I said my happy place to one episode, but that's definitely summer outside on the porch, like reading a book with like a blanket and like candles for the
So nice.
mosquitoes. I mean, it sounds great, but like 20 minutes later, you're like, I'm being eaten alive.
Yeah, you're like, this
So
is
I gotta
not
go
as
inside.
restorative.
But that's still like at that dusk time. That's still definitely a happy place. Like a core
going
memory.
for like walks or even doing that. We went up like our hill. We lived on a hill, so it was just like a little activity. I remember doing that a couple times in the summer. It's just so beautiful. Loved it.
Ugh, to be a kid in summer again.
I know.
The-
I'm still trying.
I only wish I understood how great it was to be at the stress level that I was at back then. I would have appreciated it all much more.
Although I have to say, as many stressors as there are as an adult, not having the stress of school,
Yeah,
I know.
I never want to go back to
I know.
that.
I have
Yeah.
no desire to ever. Yeah.
Like no stress,
and
no
then
other
school.
stress feels the same as that.
That's true.
Yeah.
And to
That's
be
true.
like, I am done forever.
Yeah, I still have nightmares. Like
Feels
last
so
night,
good.
Yeah.
that I didn't study for a test.
I'll
Yeah.
have nightmares that I forgot my locker
I-
combination all the time. Yeah, and I'm trying
That's
to
rough
run.
one.
I'm getting later and later, and then
That's
all
really
the you
funny.
can't read the numbers because they're not. Brutal. Anyway, on that note. Oh boy, those were some good memories, guys. I feel like I know you a little bit.
Yeah,
a little bit
I love
more.
hearing about that. If you guys have any like favorite childhood memories, the first thing that comes to mind, drop them below so we can read them.
Please do, and of course, like the video if you liked us. Let us know if you're liking this Monday, Wednesday, Friday vibe. How you're feeling with it? Do you miss us? Do you want to see us even less? Let us know.
I mean, maybe by today you're like, what is this nonsense?
So we started off on a bumpy ride, but thanks for sticking with us throughout this episode. And most importantly, don't forget to enjoy the view wherever your ride takes you.